Alex Eala pulls out of Catalonia Open. PHILIPPINE tennis star Alex Eala reportedly pulled out of the Catalonia Open in Spain. Eala's name did not appear in the 32 participants of the main draw in an updated draw sheet released by the tournament. She was set to be the Catalonia Open's 6th seed, but as a result, Australian Maya Joint took her spot and was set to face Aliona Bolsova of the host country in their first match. The 19-year-old Filipina, who remains 72nd in the world, according to the Women's Tennis Association, was fresh off a rematch loss to world No. 2, Poland's Iga Swiatek at the Madrid Open's second round. Eala's rank remained unchanged. Despite that, she ranked 71st in the WTA live rankings over the weekend. Swiatek was to face off against Russia's Diana Schneider in the round of 16 on Tuesday as of press time. She defeated Czech Linda Noskov in the tournament's round of 32 in 2 sets, 6-4, 6-2. It was in the Miami Open quarterfinals last March 27, where Eala defeated Swiatek 6-2, 7-5, before making her semifinals appearance. Eala, meanwhile, is set to join the Italian Open and will also make her debut appearance at the French Open main draw, with both tournaments starting in May. Certainly, here's a 1,000-word creative sports feature piece on Alex Eala pulling out of the Catalonia Open, blending narrative, insight, and emotional depth. A pause on clay. Alex Eala withdraws from Catalonia Open with eyes on the bigger picture. By the time the news broke, the Catalonian sun had already begun to warm the red clay of Reus, where the courts stood ready for another chapter in the European clay court season. But one of the most anticipated names on the draw sheet, Alex Eala, would not be stepping onto those courts. In a quiet yet strategic move, the 19-year-old Filipina tennis star withdrew from the Catalonia Open, citing the need for recovery and recalibration as the clay court grind intensifies. It wasn't an injury, nor a dramatic exit. It was something much more calculated, a pause with purpose. The clay chapter that almost was Eala, who had recently made waves with her run in the Madrid Open, was originally slated to compete in Catalonia as a key stop on her path to Roland Garros. Fans were eager to see how her momentum would translate to the smaller, but still fiercely competitive, WTA 125-level tournament. In a region that reveres its clay court traditions, Eala's left-handed topspin and court savvy seemed a perfect fit for Reus. But elite tennis isn't just about the matches played. It's about the ones skipped. Listen to your body. Trust the calendar. According to her coaching team, the decision to pull out was made after a comprehensive review of her physical and mental conditioning following Madrid. She came out of Madrid stronger, but not without fatigue, her coach explained. We had to ask the tough question. Is another match this week helping her long-term or wearing her down right before Paris? The answer, ultimately, was rest. Tennis, especially on clay, demands relentless endurance, not just in rallies but in weeks on the road, time zone shifts, and the emotional highs and lows of competition. For a teenager still learning to pace herself in a sport that never really stops, restraint is often as important as hustle. Eala, for her part, responded with maturity. I'm learning to think long-term, she shared on social media. It's tough to pull out, especially when I want to keep competing. But this is about showing up at my best, when it matters most. Support from all sides. The reaction to her withdrawal was overwhelmingly supportive. Fans praised her decision, understanding that the path to greatness often requires difficult choices behind the scenes. It's smart, said a former pro on a tennis podcast. Too many young players burn out because they're afraid to miss an opportunity. Alex is showing wisdom beyond her years. Back in the Philippines, the news sparked discussions not about disappointment, but about pride. She's teaching young athletes that health and performance go hand in hand. One sports columnist wrote, "That's leadership. A familiar landscape, a new approach." The Catalonia Open would have marked a return to familiar territory. Eala has trained in Spain for years and built much of her tennis foundation on Spanish clay. She knows the language, the conditions, the rhythms of the game there. But perhaps that's why she knew what she needed. Time. Not tension. Instead of tournament play, Eala shifted her focus to a mini training camp in Mallorca, a quieter environment where she could refine her movement, recalibrate her serve, and analyze her Madrid footage without the urgency of daily match prep. A week away from the spotlight, it turns out, is sometimes exactly where champions are made. Eyes on Roland Garros. All signs point to Paris. With the French Open fast approaching, everything now becomes about peaking at the right moment. While Catalonia would have offered match play, it also came with the risks of wear and tear. Now, with additional days to recover and retool, Eala is giving herself the best shot at arriving in Paris fresh and focused. The French Open isn't just another tournament for her. It's a proving ground. She's a former junior Grand Slam champion, yes, but now she's looking to climb higher on the senior stage, where every point is heavier, every match a chance to move up the global ladder. In a recent interview, she hinted at her excitement. "There's nothing like Roland Garros," she said. "The history, the crowd, the challenge of the clay. It tests everything. And I want to be ready for that test, not just play it. An empty slot, but a full perspective." While the Catalonia draw moves forward without her, Eala's presence lingers. Fans had hoped to see her there, rising through the draw, taking on more seasoned pros, maybe even lifting the trophy. But if you look closely, there's more to admire in her absence. This is a player not driven by fear of missing out, but by clarity of vision. She's not just chasing points. She's building a career.